What up, Laker Nation? It's your boy DTLF back with another post-game recap as the Lakers fall to the San Antonio Spurs 118 to 109. Very upset with this game. Not because we lost. Like, it's a long season. We're going to lose some games, but it was the way we played defense, and we didn't show any passion on either end of the floor, to be honest. Which LeBron James pretty much kept us close, but I was disappointed in everybody else, including Anthony Davis. Um, my thing is the communication out in the perimeter and the lack of depth in the paint is really starting to show at this point. And it's early in the season. We're barely 9 games in. We're 6-3, but it's still the defense was horrible by everybody. Everybody, I felt like nobody made the extra, effort that was necessary to rotate out to the shooters. Man, these guys were having a field day. And on top of that, we start off the games really slow. Uh, it's a bad recipe for disaster. And I told you guys this after the last game. I told you, even though we won, we were very sloppy. And then I had a bunch of ignorant people telling me, oh, you're overreacting because it's just the start of the season. I'm not overreacting. I'm foreshadowing what is to come if, if the Lakers keep playing like this. Hey, what's up, guys? What's up, Sally? How you doing? Uh, Felt like they were hitting everything. That's just the thing. We have a target in our back, guys. This year, it's not going to be easy. I told everybody it's not going to be no walk in the park. Matter of fact, if you guys were here for pregame, I foreshadowed what was going to happen tonight. I told you our defense has been struggling in the paint, and look for LaMarcus Aldridge to ball out. But I wanted to see what kind of adjustments we made, and we didn't. We just let them keep running it over and over on us. We couldn't. They moved. Here's the thing about Pop. All right, he knows how to use his weapons on his team, and they move the ball exceptionally well. And you have to be on it. You have to be communicating. I saw a lot of one efforts, and then boom, they will give up on the third rotation. You can't do that with Pop. Pop will move that ball up until you give up, and when you give up, that's a wide open either layup or 3-point shot for the Spurs. This year they're shooting threes. They're a different team. Um, Put it like this. Let's go see how many people had double figures versus the Lakers. This will tell you how we got destroyed. Okay, for the Lakers in double figures was only three, and that was LeBron, Anthony Davis, and Kyle Kuzma. Oh, I'm sorry, and Montrezl Harrell. Oh, and Tyler Horton Tucker, who, by the way, I thought played a good third quarter. But for them, check this out. Defensively, this is not acceptable. DeMar DeRozan, 19 points. 28, LaMarcus Aldridge. 18 for DeJounte Murray. 14 for Lonnie Walker. Patty Mills, 10. 15 for Rudy Gay. You can't have all these guys dropping buckets on you like that. They got so many wide open shots. It's not acceptable, guys. We can't play like this no matter what you say. JT, appreciate you, bro. Thanks for the donation. He said Wesley is not producing. He said Trez at just 18 minutes isn't acceptable. I agree with that. Here's my thing, though. All right. We're at the point of the season where things are starting to glare a little bit more. I told you guys after the 10th game. Well, this is game number 9. Close enough. Let me tell you what's wrong with this team, okay? We have the ball handlers, the playmakers. We have some decent perimeter guards. Obviously, KCP's been out with injury. Caruso was making an impact when he was back. But offensively, I feel like right now, we're not playing as a unit. Everybody's trying to get theirs. Everybody, including LeBron and AD. They're all stat hunting right now because it's early in the season. They're like trying to coast. Yes, even Shooter, the last 3 games, Shooter hasn't played well. After I started bragging about him, he has kind of disappeared the last 3 games. So we need more. I told you guys about him being aggressive and how that opened up, the game for everybody else. He's been more tentative lately. I don't know why, but he's been a lot more tentative. He's been second guessing. Even his layups have been blown because of him being tentative. So, I don't like it. If he's not playmaking, he's not scoring, he's not effective. Defensively, he's been okay. But overall, it's crazy how this team, I feel like right now we are too relaxed. We're not showing the same heart and passion and grit we were last season. And we need to tune that up quick. I think they need to have a heart-to-heart conversation. A lot of people want to blame it all on Mark. And yes, Mark is one of the reasons that we're struggling. Obviously, because he's older, he's getting himself into foul trouble. He's too slow-footed. But he's not the only reason. Our perimeter defense was trash. Tonight, we got killed from the perimeter, even when Mark wasn't even out there. So for those of you trying to blame one player, no, it's the whole team from A to Z. And I think LeBron James and AD have to have a heart-to-heart with the team and say, hey, we're coming off of a championship, but that doesn't mean we're not hungry. We need to see effort because there will be trades if there's no effort here. Now, Trez is bringing it every night. Kuz's effort has been solid every night. He's been crashing the glass and all this stuff. LeBron, we know what he does. AD, he needs to step up his effort on the defensive end. Offensively, we know he's a bucket, 23 points, easy money. But what we need, though, is effort from the rest. I'm talking Wesley Matthews has to be better on both ends. He needs to be more consistent because, again, one game he'll shoot lights out, the next two he'll disappear. Shooter, we were getting consistent shooter up until like 2 games ago. And, we need more from him on both ends. Marc Gasol, I'm sorry, but coach, if Marc Gasol is going to play stupid defense and jump on pump fakes and stuff, he needs to get benched in favor of I don't care who. If not, they have to go out and get somebody. Markieff Morris hasn't been the same. I have to tear him a new one because he's been playing very poor defense and just settling for everything threes or turnaround jump shots. We need this man to play smarter within the offense. Who else? Who else do I have to talk about? The whole team as a unit collectively isn't really communicating defensively. And so, no, I'm not going to relax, Edwin. I'm speaking my truth. And the truth is that the Lakers have been less than impressive. Here's a crazy stat for you guys. We have not won this season versus a team that's considered to be a contender. Yes, we beat the Spurs, but then I have LaMarcus, so that doesn't count. Now that they had LaMarcus, they waxed us. So I'm not going to relax. We lost to the Clippers this year. We lost to the Blazers this year. Any team that's considered to be an actual playoff contender, we're losing to. That's not a good thing. And I told you guys about building and developing early habits. If the early habits are that we're not going to play defense, that's going to really bite us in the back end later down the stretch of the season. So, no, I'm not going to relax. I'm not happy with tonight's performance. Now, am I going to overreact and say we're not going to win the championship? Heck no. But I will tell you this. We do need to make a lot of adjustments on this roster as we stand right now. And we need to tweak the rotations a little bit as well. Man, like today was really disappointing. I told you guys this was a good test for us. We already failed the first couple of tests. We lost versus the Clippers. We lost versus the Blazers. We're clearly the better team. We shouldn't be losing to those teams. So the fact that we're losing tells us that A, we're not hungry enough. B, we're not clicking quick enough. And C, we don't have the same hunger that we did last year. We need that hunger to return. Last year, Dwight Howard, he was a major factor why we were hungry and why he was an anchor defensively, and he would basically encourage everybody to play hard defense. That's number one. Number two, Rondo was a great savvy vet that didn't get enough credit, but yeah, we lost him as well. I'm not going to cry about that. JaVale had at least length. Even though he was a goofy dude, he had length and he at least intimidated in the paint. Right now, we don't have a rim protector, and AD's not even playing good defense thus far early in the season. Last year, maybe because we had first traded for him, he was super motivated and he was playing hard. I'm going to need AD to step up big time. And yes, it looks really bad at the center position. We may need to upgrade sooner rather than later. But I'll say this. Lakers can definitely improve. We have a lot of room for improvement. My thing is we just need consistency from a lot of the new guys. Trez gave me like 3 magical games when the season started, and then he gave me a couple of subpar ones. We need more aggression and more minutes for Trez. We brought him here to be that X factor, and so far, about the first 3 games, he has been that. Schroeder was very impressive up until about 3 games ago, so he needs to stay aggressive and consistent. His shot wasn't falling today. He blew a couple of layups that normally he's been consistent with all year long. But again, give credit to the San Antonio Spurs because Greg Popovich is a master. They studied film. They didn't want to get swept by us during the season, and so they went out there and they did their due diligence, their research, and they came out here ready for battle. We did it. We came out here flat-footed, which this Laker team has developed a bad habit of coming out flat-footed. And I told you guys, to play a good team like the Spurs, you got to come out here aggressive from the start and set the tone. If not, they'll be with you the whole game, and eventually they'll have a chance to beat us at the end. So those are the things that I really see that are wrong with the team. And yes, I am calm, but I am disappointed because I thought we'd be a lot better at this stage right now. And forget about the record. Throw that 6-3. Yes, we're above 500, blah, blah, blah. But we're not showing the grit and the heart of a championship defensive team. Like, we made our mark last season on defense. And on top of that, we're getting really sloppy with the turnovers, missing free throws. All that is a recipe for disaster. But those are things that could be tweaked easily. What I didn't like tonight, again, was the effort. The effort was garbage. I was going back and forth texting a couple of people. The effort was basura. It was trash. All right. Like literally, this is what happens. All right. We made a couple of rotations and then we're out there waltzing. At the very end, DeJounte Murray smacked the 3 right in AD's face because AD failed to put his hand up. Like, you can't have that, bro. You're AD. You're a defensive player of the year candidate. You can't have DeJounte Murray smacking threes in your face. I don't care who he. I don't care if it was like James Harden. You gotta put your hands up, no matter who. That's the type of things I hate to see. I hate it. I just want to see a fight again. Win or lose this early in the season. We're not panicking on the off the wins and losses. We know we're gonna be up there. We know that. I'm panicking off of just again the bad habits that are being developed here by everybody and the example that's being set by our superstars. We need more effort from them. We can't have LeBron being one of our best defensive players early in the season at his age. So I'm gonna give him a pass because he's 36. But Anthony Davis, I need a lot more defensively from you. Everybody else just needs to improve. And it was just again tonight was like disappointing. It was almost as disappointing as the Clipper game. For reals. Maurice, appreciate you, bro. Thank you. He said fraudulent needed. I don't know what that means. I have no idea what you. So AD been playing possum lately. He has. I have been disappointed with AD's play. At first, I cut him some slack because he was coming off of an injury. But right now, the way that AD was, the way he looked tonight, I didn't like it at all. And I'm not talking about offense. He's always solid offensively. I'm specifically zeroing in on the defense. And the defense, he needs to be an anchor for us since we lost, since we lost both of our defensive anchors in JaVale and Dwight. So he needs to be that. He said same thing happened last year though, Dan. People said we had an easy schedule and lost to every good team. Yeah, I get it, but last year we showed more of a defensive intensity, man, than this year so far. So far this year, our rotations, pay close attention, man. Play close attention. I'm gonna tell you, last year I was not concerned at all, even when we struggled a little bit, because our defensive intensity was there. But this year, our defensive intensity concerns me because I don't want us to get complacent. And remember, we have new players on the roster. We got to lead them by example and show them what it feels like to be a championship contender, not the other way around, right? Um, he said, Dan, can we please trade Marcus? So I don't know, man. I'm not going to talk about trades or anything like that. All I'm here to say is we got to be better. He said, we miss that trader, Avery Bradley. Avery Bradley was great defensively for us last season. I'm not even going to sit here in front, but we won the championship without him, so I'm okay with losing him. Dwight was my main target that I wanted to keep, and unfortunately, he walked. So that's who we miss the most right now, to be honest with you, from what I see. 9-game in review. Still too early. Still have room for adjustments, and we're still going to adapt, but we might need another rim protector there, for reals. I think Rob Pelinka is probably already looking around. I think so. Because we are looking thin, especially Marcus has been getting in foul trouble last 2 games. We don't have nobody out there for size. LaMarcus Aldridge, we got him out here looking like Hakeem, the way we can't even guard him in the paint or outside because we don't have any intimidators out there outside of AD. And it looks like they're saving him for the offense because defensively, he hasn't really been there consistently this year. He said, imagine if we had a coach that gets on his players for playing soft. He said, I don't care that Frank won a championship. He still gets out coached a lot and won a championship on pure talent. Look, man, before Frank Vogel came here, we were not a defensive identity. He made us a top 5 defensive team. So I'm not really blaming coach. However, my one criticism about Frank Vogel is, does he ever realize that he has a coaching challenge? There was a play out there tonight when who was it that shot a 3-pointer? Patty Mills. He threw his elbow at Caruso. Caruso tried to move out the way, hands down, and they called the foul, gave him 3 free throws, changed the momentum of the game. Had he challenged that play, had he just challenged that play, that would have been minus 3 free throws. We're still down only 6 points, 5 points, whatever, and we're still in the game. But yeah, I have been disappointed with the overall play of the team early on, especially Anthony Davis. Yeah, he's been disappointing early. It's still early, and I'm sure he'll turn it up. He's a superstar. But defensively is where he concerns me. She said something is wrong with AD. Absolutely. I don't know what it is, to be honest with you. But let's just hope that he turns it up. Because when he does, we know what a beast he is. He really is an impactful player. Last year, he was impacting games early and late in games. This year, I don't know, man. There's something about it. I'm not sure if they're not as hungry because we just won a championship or did we start up too early or whatever, but there needs to be no excuses at this point. We may need another big. Maybe this is why Anthony Davis doesn't like playing center right? Maybe he doesn't like to get banged down low all game long. So maybe we do need to go out there and get another big because Mark has struggled mightily. I mean, tonight, that was a struggle for reals. You said Dennis ain't crap compared to Rondo IQ, baby. Well, Rondo does have that veteran savvy over him, of course, but Dennis ain't no chump. He just I don't know why he went in a little 2 to 3 game slump, but I expect him to snap out of it quicker than usual. AD likes to be fed. Shooter is not a floor general. Rondo is. That's also true though. Rondo had some great chemistry with Anthony Davis. That's one thing that we did lose because you're right. Anthony Davis likes to be fed, and when you're the point guard, you do have to get him a little bit more involved. But offensively, it's not even where I'm complaining about Davis at all. Defensively is where he's been struggling this year, man. Really, like there's no rim protection. Sometimes they just get caught flat-footed and they look at each other to blame each other. I hate that. It's like, bro, take responsibility. Take responsibility. Any predictions for a big? I have no predictions. I haven't been hearing anything. People are saying Whiteside. Whiteside's still on the contract. People saying Deadman. I haven't heard a single rumor about Deadman. So I'm not gonna predict anything, but let's see what happens. Maybe if I hear something, I'll keep my ear low to the ground. If I hear anything in the upcoming weeks, I'll let you guys know for sure. I'm the first to break it when it happens. Brady said, that's what I was saying at the beginning of the season. AD does not want to play center. We have to protect AD. I do agree with that. We should get him another big if maybe that's the reason. I think AD's better as a weak side defender. Like, okay, your man just got beat, but at least you tried, right? And now, when your opponent beats a big man and he's about to gather to finish, that's when AD comes from the weak side and just swats his stuff out, as a last line of defense type player. Now, on ball, he's been getting killed a lot. I'm not even gonna lie. But off ball, I feel like AD, could definitely cover or like roam the paint. But it really helped having a rim protector there alongside him because now you don't know where it's coming from. You don't know if it's coming from the left or from the right. Like, I'll be honest with you guys, man. Losing Dwight Howard was a big blow. I didn't want to say it because I was hoping that the Lakers could obviously, cover for that. But man, like I was really disappointed when he said, I'm back, y'all. And then boom, he deleted the tweet and he went to Philly. Like that was such a disappointment. But we can't just rest on our laurels, man. We got to move on and see what we can do to improve the team moving forward. He said, "Do the Lakers right now bring you vibes of the 2013, 2012, and 0304 teams?" No, not yet. It's still early to make those type of ugly predictions, man. Get that out of here. Be gone, Satan. But I will say this: this is the reason I don't want them to get complacent, right? Because the season only gets tougher as you progress. One, you start getting more tired, injuries start compiling, teams start playing harder, even though they're going to play us hard all year because we're the defending championship Lakers. It's going to be extremely hard moving forward because if we can't get that rim protector, a lot of these little problems are going to continue to linger. We don't have too much size outside of AD. AD and Gasol are only like legit 7-footers. I've been telling y'all since last year. The one thing I loved about us, what was it? That we had an advantage over everybody. The size. We kept hitting people with size and bullying people in the paint inside out. We don't have as much size by losing both JaVale and Dwight, to be honest with you. We're lacking some of that explosiveness and some of that defensive prowess that we had last year. And as a result, teams are coming in, the door is opening, the floodgates are opening, people are coming in, and now everybody's, rotating and leaving people wide open. Just having somebody like that, having somebody like JaVale or AD really helped intimidate. And I took it for granted last year, especially with JaVale because he was so sloppy. But I see now. Why Gasol can't stay out of foul trouble, Dan? You know what? I think we might have got Marc Gasol 1 year too late because even last year he was decent. The year before that he was great. I think that was when they won the championship, right? 2 years ago. We might have just sometimes the Lakers do this. Like we got Steve Nash a year too late. We've got, I don't know, Karl Malone a year too late. Sometimes the Lakers, we like a player, we have him on our radar for years, and then boom, we grab him and he's too old. And that's unfortunate because I was really excited for Marc Gasol because offensively and defensively, he's been a defensive player of the year in his prime. But I think maybe he doesn't have enough juice left in the tank. It's a young man's league out there. I think he's being caught flat-footed a lot, and it's costing him fouls and everything. He's had a couple of decent defensive plays, like when he ripped, a couple big man last couple of games and stuff like that. But nothing that gives me glimmers of hope that he'll be able to man the paint for the full, rest of the season. So I still like Mark, but I think we're gonna be better with him coming off the bench. Unfortunately, he might, like I said, he might have been a year too late. This is why I really wanted. You guys remember who I wanted in the offseason? Serge Ibaka. I really wanted Serge Ibaka, but it's unfortunate. She said, I'm starting to really miss Rondo. I feel Rondo was the leader on that team. I don't think you're going to have LeBron or AD being that guy. Well, Rondo was great. I told you guys, I loved Rondo. I loved him from the beginning, even when everybody was on his head. Rondo's been great. But unfortunately, he made his decision and we can't look back. We can't look back anymore. Him and Dwight, we got to let them go, Laker Nation. We're doing a disservice to our players, to continue to hang that over their heads. Oh, you're not good enough, to live up to the hype. Now, we got to encourage our players. Until Rob Pelinka trades anything, we have to keep encouraging our players to get better. But it's still too early to talk trades. Lakers just need to play harder. Honestly, we have a lot of talent on this team. But right now, we're like in cruise control. We're not even kicking it up to third, fourth gear right now. And I realized this because I really wanted us to win tonight. I was going to be super happy. I would have said we passed the test. Finally, we beat a good, complete team. We're yet to beat a good, complete team this year. If you notice, all 6 of the wins we have been versus lesser teams or teams that have been injured. Let's be honest. We beat Memphis twice. They didn't have John Morant. We beat, San Antonio twice when they didn't even have LaMarcus Aldridge. You saw what they did tonight with LaMarcus. So we have to keep it a buck. I wouldn't be DTLF if I didn't keep it with you guys $1.50. And right now, I am definitely concerned about the defense, especially in the perimeter and in the paint. But last year, that was our MO. Even when we got off the slow starts, our defense was so good it would bring us into games. This year, I don't know. Our offense did get better, but it's still looking like a lot of stat hunting out there. I want to see more of a team style, play. We can't be stat hunting or record hunting or MVP hunting or none of that. Can't do it. We got to play out here. And there was a play tonight. Talon Horton Tucker was great in the third quarter, but there was one play tonight that I thought was really stupid he made. And it was when he drove into the paint, he had Montrezl Harrell right wide open under the bucket. And all he had to do was dump it to him and get the dunk. And instead he kicked it out to Kuz for the 3. He breaks it. We get 0 points. They're getting greedy going for the 3-point shot instead of going for the high percentage bucket. And, this is where the Lakers have to do better. They have to move the rock, play smarter, and just make sure that we're playing efficient basketball on both ends. JDH, appreciate you, man. He said, hey, Dan, I'm checking in. How'd AC look? Alex Caruso looked great. In limited minutes, he made an impact. Every time we were down, he came in, played some solid defense, solid offense, and we kept coming back with him and THT in the floor. Unfortunately, not everybody had the same drive tonight, and defensively, we looked lost. So we ended up losing, and we deserved to lose. Honestly, tonight, I would have been kind of disappointed if we would have pulled out this win because that's how you continue to overlook the bad habits. I think it's better that we lost tonight, and that way they can look at film and be like, okay, look, all these lazy mother suckers out here, y'all got to play better. Y'all got to step it up big time. Like, I don't want to see this brand of basketball for much longer. I want to see championship. I want to see a proud defensive team out there. We look good in preseason. I'm shocked that they have fallen off this far in the regular season. William Jacob, thank you, brother. He said, frustrated by the lack of effort and fight. Exactly, William. That's all we want to see. We know we're not going to get all these wins, not all the time, but we're still the better team. If we had put more effort, it probably would have translated into a dub. But we're like, the Lakers are developing this bad habit of thinking they're better than everybody instead of showing they're better than everybody. Don't think it. Show me, right? Don't say it. Show me. And that's why the Lakers are struggling. They're really struggling. And tomorrow we play the Bulls. Bulls are going to have fresh legs. They're young. And if they catch us flat-footed, they might sneak out a dub. And then I'll be really pissed because we should not be losing to the Zach LaVine Bulls. I'm sorry. I love me some Zach LaVine, but he shouldn't be enough to beat AD, LeBron, and Schroeder and a good supporting cast, right? So again, I'll be watching intensely tomorrow. If not, you might see me start breaking stuff in this room. We lose tomorrow, for reals. Um, he said it was hard watching this game. I know, Brittany. I know it's hard, especially because last year, we got excellence for the majority part of the season. Sure, we had maybe one or two lapses, three, four, five lapses during the season, but at least there was effort defensively, and we played hard and prided ourselves in the way we play. Too many missed opportunities, but he should have taken a advantage to either take the lead or at least close, possibly win the game tonight. I don't know who he is, but yeah, we did miss a lot of opportunities. He said, "Relax, guys, 6-3, and just looking flat-footed, just like Miami. Their hunger will increase if they start to creep too close to 500." Yeah, that's just the thing. I don't want to be compared to Miami. You got to remember, we're spoiled Laker fans. We demand greatness. To me, Miami got lucky they made it to the finals. They're not even the best team in the East. So that was a poor comparison on your part. So that actually makes me be more concerned. I definitely don't want to be ever compared to Miami. I'm sorry, Jimmy Butler's good, but he's not a superstar. He's an all-star. Outside of him, they don't have much. They're better off trading for Harden, to be honest with you. But I'm gonna tell you like this. Look, it is concerning because the effort hasn't been there early on to start. That's it. It's concerning. No, tell me otherwise. I'm super positive. Everybody here knows I'm super positive, but I'm concerned and there's a reason for it. There's a reason for it. And forget about the record. I said throw out the loss. It doesn't matter. The record doesn't matter. It's the effort that matters. Somebody said they don't expect consistency from Kuz anymore. Kuzma has a really solid jumper. He's a starting type player, to be honest with you. Off the bench, he's not the same. I've said this for a long time. He's not the same. And unfortunately, he may not fit on this team because they're not going to start him. And that's something I thought I'd never say. But I see now that he's two different players. Kuz is really a star in this league. He's not just a starter. He's somebody who could put up, 19 and 7 consistently, maybe 20 and 7. Off the bench, he almost disappears. When he starts, when AD or LeBron are missing, he goes for like 10, 11, 12 points in the first quarter. He's like a spark plug. There's two different Kuzmas, and it's unfortunate. But, I mean, can you really ask too much of the kid? He's been, for years, he's been sacrificing for this team. And unfortunately, it just sometimes it's the wrong fit. He said, "Hey, DTLF, this is a winnable game, bro. We lack interior defense." He said, "We should find a center that can protect the rim. Time Marc Gasol needs to come off the bench. Dan, can we sign Powell? I would love Powell." He might be flat-footed too. He might be past his time. I think if we're going to go sign somebody, they need to be still in their prime and athletic. So even though I was for Powell early on, I didn't think that Mark would be this bad defensively. So for those reasons, I might have to pass on Powell. Unless he's like rejuvenated and he comes back like 2010 Powell. But other than that, I don't know. Jameson, he said, "Dan, I don't like these two very flat performances." Yeah, it's truly disappointing. Like anybody with eyes can see that the Lakers aren't the same this year early on. Now, hopefully they turn it up and become the same or better. But it's been 9 games. I've been waiting for that intensity. And even during the wins, we've been eking out wins during lesser teams. That's not a recipe for success. We need to come out here and last year, when we faced the lesser team, we were blowing them out by 20. This year, we faced Memphis without Ja. We barely win. We barely escape by the skin of our teeth. We can't have that. It's just, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, Laker Nation, but we do need to improve because this early start, 6-3, 3-6, I don't care what it is disappointing. And we'll see what Frank does. This is where he gets tested. We really need to test the stripes of his coaching abilities, because I'm just defensively, I'm like dumbfounded by how far we fell off from last year early on. Now it's still early, but and that's what gives me hope. If we were playing like this later into the season, then I would say, oh no, our championship hopes are looking slimmer by the day. But the fact that it's still early and we can make those adjustments, we'll see what happens. He said, "So long, Dan. Have a great weekend." He said, "Bro, Lakers Nation will rise." Let's get it, man. It's still Lakers till we die. Even when we struggle, we right here, man. We were here during the rebuild years. We're not going anywhere, Don't get it twisted. I'm still very proud of this franchise. I still think this team is going to turn it around, but forget the record. The play hasn't been impressive. Like, no. Outside of maybe 2 games this season. And again, we're yet to beat a good team. We're yet to beat a good team. Let's be real. Let's keep it 100. I know the truth hurts sometimes, but that's the truth. He said Matthews and Gasol should play less. Everybody just needs to be more consistent. Whatever coach decides will be up to coach. But I think that AD and LeBron need to hold themselves accountable on both ends of the floor, and then they need to hold their teammates accountable. It starts with the leadership. He said, but where, Dan, do we need to improve? Everywhere. We need to improve collectively as a defensive unit. The communication has been poor. Off a simple pick and rolls, we're struggling to make the right switches. Communication has been off, and they're looking at each other like it's each other's fault. Everybody needs to take accountability. Random account 007, he said, biggest problem with the Lakers team so far? Biggest problem with the Lakers team so far has been the rim protection. We lost it. All right, because I thought AD would cover for whatever Marc Gasol is lacking, but I think Mark is just 1 year too late. I think he arrived here too late. Unless he all of a sudden starts playing rejuvenated like Memphis Grizzlies or like year 1 Toronto Marc Gasol, I think for sure, yeah, he's a year too late, unfortunately. And I hate to say that because I love me some Marc Gasol. I think he got here just 1 year too late. You know, I hate to say this kind of stuff, man. I don't want to be negative, but that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like early on. Now, I will say this. Perimeter defense I'm not too concerned with because we have some good perimeter guards. I mean, KCP, Alex Caruso are no slouches. I definitely also like the defense that Talon Horton Tucker plays. He has a very wide base and he holds his own. And I love what he did tonight, even though, again, he did some knuckleheaded plays there in the end, but he's young. But a lot of times when we put him out on the floor, we were catching up, and he was a major factor in that. But I will say we have plenty of good perimeter defenders. A lot of that is just communication. The paint, however, is really struggling bad for both reasons. Because one, AD can't guard 2 guys, and 2, AD's better as a weak side defender when he has some good rim protection. Arthur, he said, done with the Lakers. Hail to the. Oh my! I'm not even gonna. No, you don't get your comment right. Arthur, you're tripping. You're not a real Laker fan. Anybody that says that's not a real Laker fan. Ugh. Clippers are worse. They got worse problems than us. They don't even have a real point guard. Stop it. Stop it. And by the way, Arthur, if you're so proud of the Clippers, they already got whooped several times this year. You know, just because they came back the other night doesn't make a difference. They were getting blown out in the first half. Y'all got some bigger problems over there. And I know you're an undercover Clipper fan posing as a Laker fan because real Laker fans never flip-flop like that. Straight up. But anyways, he said, I think Mark will be dangerous in the playoffs, Dan. Lakers just have to get him there. Maybe so, Omar. And I'm not really tripping off of just Mark. I think the whole team needs to improve. And if we're going to add another rim protector, it needs to be the right piece. It can't be some random piece that you just pick up like that year that we got Mike Muscala and then he was garbage and he was just basically buried at the end of the bench. Yeah, we can't have another one of those pickups. That's why I'm saying it's crucial for us to wait for the buyout market to open up before we bring a real rim stopper, right? That's how I feel. What do you guys think, though? I'm going to go ahead and ask the comment section, everybody except for the Clipper fan up here who just gave me his money because he wasted it. He said the Clippers are way worse. They're so trash. Who do you guys think would be a good rim protector? I'm curious to see who you guys think that maybe might become available. You know, he said, honestly, even if we win tomorrow, I won't be happy until we beat a playoff team. I agree. We need to show that we can compete with these better teams. Dwayne Dedman, okay, I've heard that one before. Narlins Noel, there's a new name. He said, we're lazy sometimes on defense. Can't let that happen, especially when we play the contending teams. Gasol is ass, honestly, I would have never signed him. He said, I don't care who or what he has done. He said, I'd rather have Dwight and McGee's athleticism over Mark's IQ. I think everybody was shocked when Dwight left. I think we were all shocked. It's like, bro, you left us once before, and how did your career go after that? And then you finally reestablish your career. Laker fans love you, and you leave again. That was pretty shocking. But hey, you know what they say, man. Once a meal, always a meal. But except this meal helped us win a championship. And so we're going to give him our respect. Even though it's hard, after that decision, I wanted to just go over there and say something, man. He said, "Hey DTLF, y'all will bounce back. Much love, my man. Do you think this point maybe y'all should start Anthony Davis at center and have Trez play the four sometime? God bless, bro. That I mean, I suggested that earlier in the year that we could do that, but the problem with that is Anthony Davis doesn't like to play center, man. He doesn't like to play center, and I understand why because we need him for the offense, and he'd really be, expending his energy, guarding some of the heavier players in the league. So I understand why. Now we'll see whatever happens with Marc Gasol or whatnot, but at the end of the day, tonight was just disappointing. And y'all know that I try to stay neutral, but I can't even hide my emotions tonight, man. I was really hoping for a win and an impressive one at that versus a well coached team with a full roster, and we didn't get it. Arthur, he said, just messing with you, brother. Lakers for life. This game just gave me a migraine. The least I needed was you bashing the flippers. Okay, I appreciate that. I could appreciate that. Thank you for the donations, bro. Um, what contenders are available right now? Oh, I'm sorry. What centers? See, my eyes got blurry just now. What centers are available right now? There's not too many, man. To be honest with you, there's a couple of role players here and there, but nobody that really like blows me out of the water. I'm waiting. I'm waiting because I know somebody that is the starter material is going to get cut, and when they do, I think Rob Palenka will be right there, ready to snatch him up like a hawk. JDH says, Dan, how do we let Dwight, JaVale, and Boogie go? That's a good question. That is a good question. But at the end of the day, look, players have. There's two kinds of players in this league. I'm gonna be honest with you. JaVale, honestly, I didn't even hurt me till now because JaVale was sloppy in the playoffs, and he was non-effective. So JaVale, I'm not even gonna make an excuse for him. But Dwight Howard, I really thought we were gonna lock him up. He was a fan favorite. I was really shocked, and he only left for like less than a mil. So that was a shocker, I think, to all of Laker Nation. You know me, I'm strong though. I look away. I'm just like, all right, that happened. It was ugly. Let's look the other way and look forward, right? But my thing is, we'll see. We'll see what happens. As far as Boogie, I thought he was going to come back as well, but I think Houston probably called and said, "Hey, we're working on a trade for John Wall. We'd like for you to come and join us. You might get some starter minutes here and there." And then I don't know. They convinced him, I guess. But yeah, he said Dwight looks good this year. He said McGee was trash last year. Caruso should get some of Kuzma's minutes. I'm gonna say I don't like Dennis in our offense. I mean, I loved him the first like what 5 games or so, but the last 2 to 3 have been questionable. He said Dwight should have stayed. Palenka's biggest mistake was not bringing back Dwight. LOL. How can you miss a trader? Let's not forget the Lakers won the playoff series without Dwight and JaVale. Yeah, man, but I do want us to improve in the paint. We need to. We can't just sit here and sit on our hands and allow Marcus Gasol to get abused, and as a result, the Lakers to get abused all year long. If it's not going to be a trade or an addition, then we might have to do what the homie said earlier, which is put AD at the center and put Trez at the power forward because that'll definitely give us some energy and some second chance points and stuff like that. However, two problems with that. One, it makes our bench weaker, and two, we risk injuring Anthony Davis. Playing him at center, there's some real brutes down there that like to use their body and their weight and throw elbows and stuff. And we know that Anthony Davis can be fragile, man. He's always on the ground. So that's my only concern with that. So, but again, this is a problem that Frank Vogel and the front office are going to have to figure out rather quickly. 6-3, it's not the record that I panic of, honestly, with you guys. The record is good. It's just the tendencies and the way they came out here looking not as hungry as last year. Last year they were hungry. Last year we were out here starving, man. We looked like we had never won a championship in like 100 years. The way we played last year, and I thought that would translate over to this year. But it's challenging at times for a championship team to keep that same intensity. I've seen it before. I saw the Lakers after they won a three-peat lose that focus, and chemistry issues started happening, and then they lost to the Pistons. Right? I've seen it before, guys. I've seen it before. He said, I would trade Gasol and Matthews to the Kings for Whiteside. We'll see what Rob Pelinka figures out, man. I'm sure Rob, look, he's proven himself thus far, to be honest with you. It's not his fault that Marc Gasol's a year old. Okay, to be honest. And also, I don't even think it's his fault that we lost out on Dwight. I think that was Dwight being Dwight. Dwight is a little weird when it comes to decision making. You know what I'm saying? He left the Lakers twice. If that don't tell you that he's a little weird when it comes to decision making, and nothing will. But I think the Lakers should improve, man, as the year progresses. I just been discouraged by the play of tonight, and so let's just hope that tomorrow they can ramp it up and just come out and put the team away early, so we could rest both AD and LeBron, and then move forward and grow from this. But that's gonna wrap it up for me. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please, 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 please smash the like button. We had over 200 in here, man. Only 40 likes, so I got to show the kids some love, man. I know we lost and it's disappointing and all that, but please hook a brother up, man. Smash the like button, thumbs up, all that good stuff, and I'll catch you guys right here for the next one, which is just tomorrow. And so hopefully tomorrow we will be focused, because if not, it's gonna be. I don't know if you're gonna want to join this live stream if we come out here and drop a game versus Chicago. There's gonna be some chaos up in here, man. That's all I'm going to say. But anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Have a great night. Peace out.